The overwhelming sentiment on Jay winning the 2025 Royal Rumble is a majority no yeet. YouTube publicly hid the thumbs down counter on their videos back in 2021, but you can still use plugins to find out how many dislikes a channel's upload has had. And just over 24 hours after the Royal Rumble finished, the video of Jey Uso winning has 37,000 thumbs down compared to 20,000 thumbs up, meaning 65% of people disliked the video.
Well, folks, there you have it. No yeet is more favorable than yeet when it comes to the win of the Royal Rumble by Jey Uso. Of course, that was my boy Ollie over at WrestleTalk, who's hilarious. You got to check him out. But we weren't done there, because not only were fans negative on the Jey Uso victory at the Royal Rumble, but they were even more negative on the Charlotte Flair victory at the Royal Rumble.
And Charlotte winning the women's match was even more disliked, getting 32,000 thumbs down compared to just 7.2 thousand thumbs up, which means 82% disliked the video. As for Charlotte, I always thought she was going to win, so I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed.
I'm with Ollie on that one. I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed. Because we all know, and we all should know as wrestling fans, that it's one of the written rules of professional wrestling. Charlotte wins, LOL, right? You can't change that just because you got feelings about it. You know, you can't rewrite the rule book to make pinfalls a 5 count instead of a 3 count because you want it to be. Sometimes you want other people to win, but Charlotte wins, LOL. That's just the rules of professional wrestling. If you're going to be a wrestling fan, you got to get on board with that. You don't have to like it. You just have to understand that that's part of the rules. Kind of like in UFC, you know, fans don't like it when the refs break things up and stuff. They want to let them go at it. It's the same concept. You just can't always get your way. As far as Jey Uso is, and look, with Charlotte, like, I don't care personally because I don't care about Tiffany Stratton either. I'm not a huge Tiffy fan. I know a lot of people are. I know she has a lot of fans, and a lot of them it's just because they think she looks real pretty, which she kind of looks plastic and fake to me. But that's just me. It's just my personal taste. I'm not everybody. But for those reasons, I don't really care that Charlotte won because, as I understand, she's going to face Tiffany at WrestleMania, which doesn't take anything away from what I would care about, which would be Rhea Ripley's match. So I'm fine with it. I'm for it. I know other people clearly are not, but I just, I didn't have any other favorites going into the Rumble or any expectation that anybody else could or would win. So I wasn't let down. I didn't let it disappoint me because it was a foregone conclusion to me. Wrestling, pinfalls are 1, 2, 3 and Charlotte wins, LOL. It's just the fact of life. As far as Jey Uso goes, I would have preferred Punk. Though, there's more story that appears to be there to be told for CM Punk. The favor has not been called in yet. So I can understand that, though, they've been rubbing Punk up against everybody. Backstage, on the mic, out in the ring, they're sprinkling that Punk dust all over people. And he has so many options that could go any which way. It still feels like CM Punk is their top guy or one of their top priorities, and I still think he'll find his way into a world title match. Maybe not, though. They lined him up against Cody. Clearly he's not going for Gunther because Jey Uso is. But then there's the John Cena story, too. Does John Cena get the WrestleMania match against Cody? Somebody's got to face Cody. And with John Cena, I want him to be the 17th champion. I want him to win that 17th championship. I am rooting for him. I wanted him to win the Rumble, but I also understand that if he comes in and wins the Rumble in his first match back, and then goes on to WrestleMania and wins the title, there's not a lot of meat on that bone for a story to tell. The story is John Cena falls short, and he's only got 1 year left to reach his goal. You already heard that he's inserting himself into the Elimination Chamber now. So there's more story to be told there. With Jey Uso, I understand the story with Gunther. You know, a lot of the complaints online are, you know, hey, we've seen Gunther versus Jey Uso 500 times. And even if Jey, and I get, to me, it's a good story. At least it's a story that everybody can wrap their head around. Jey keeps getting closer and closer and closer. And Jay's been winning a lot of matches by the skin of his teeth, too. Quick roll-ups and stuff. He's getting so close, but yet so far away still. And he's out of options. And now he's got this one more last chance, and he really thinks he can beat Gunther. And, of course, the story to be properly told would be that he's going to beat Gunther when he gets to WrestleMania. But even then, it's like, well, Gunther's beaten Jey like fucking 5 times. So what, Jey beats him once, and all of a sudden Gunther, the big bad Gunther, is defeated? What, are we going to run it back a 6th, 7th, 8th time? Come on, man. Rematches, and you don't want to move Gunther down the card. I like him as a world champion. Let's have a dominant world champion that just holds the title and beats everybody for a while. Why are we moving Gunther down the card? I mean, I say that, but as I say that, as it's coming out of my mouth, I'm not blind to the fact that Jey Uso is getting over, has gotten over, is massively over. He's selling a shit ton of merch. You see the fans, they're eating all over the place in the crowd and stuff. Clearly he has a fan base and a following, and his, you know, the likes versus dislikes were not as disproportionate as Charlotte's was. I think Jey has more to do to win the fans over if he wants to get there. And I think part of this is because people wanted other people to win, like Punk or Cena or whoever the fuck, you know. Maybe somebody wanted Seth Rollins to win. Probably not, but you never know. There are weirdos out there. So people are mad about that. And, you know, Jey is not the best wrestler in the world, folks. I'm sorry to burst your bubble on that, but here's a guy who his own brother he had a match with at WrestleMania. He's had an entire lifetime to, you know, like, obviously, like I've sat around and talked about with my friends when we were backyard wrestlers as a kid. Oh, what would we do if we went to WWE and we had a match? Even if you don't have that conversation, that's, you know, you would imagine your closest best friends, like a KO and a Sammy, for example, or your brothers, that you would be able to go out there and have a fucking hell of a match because you know each other like the back of your hand, and you've had all this time to try out different spots on the trampoline in the backyard, and then your dad comes out and yells at you and whoops you with the switch off the tree, and you're hurt and you're sitting on a pillow and stuff. Okay, I took that too far, but you get the point. You get what I'm saying. They should have had a great match. They had the worst match at WrestleMania. Jey Uso's matches consist of yeet, yeet, and then kick, 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 dive. Kick, 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 dive. Kick, 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 splash. Yeet, yeet, 1, 2, 3. There's a Jey Uso match for you. His promos aren't much better. He has charisma. He's got energy. He's got aura. He can own a room. But what's he really saying out there? Every time he starts talking, it's like he's nervous and out of breath from yeeting all over the place. And then he's, you know, he leans into the what chants too much. That's kind of become his thing. He comes out and he'll say a line, wait for the crowd to reply, what? And then he'll say another line. And that's a very easy rhythm to fall into. And it gives you that extra second to think of your line and have it prepared and ready to go. And he's just not connecting. He's got heart. He's got passion. It comes through. I just don't know that he's a great promo. He's not bad. He doesn't suck. But it's not cringe or anything. It's just he's not. He's got more to prove to me. And I think it seems like a lot of other people as well. But this is how people get elevated in wrestling, and he's getting over. He's selling the merch, pushing him to that next level. Royal Rumble win always gets people there. Very few people have won the Royal Rumble and not been catapulted to the main event picture because it puts you in the main event of not just a main event, not just a title shot to fill out a Backlash or something, but the main event of WrestleMania. So that's how you do it. Maybe they'll be able to get him over, and we'll all love and respect Jey Uso by the end of this, but I see why people are hesitant to jump on board at this point. But that was not the only issues with the Royal Rumble. Some people had issues that were in the Royal Rumble, namely Drew McIntyre. As word got out about this, Drew McIntyre apparently very salty about some shit that went down in the ring. We'll send it back over to Ollie with this scoop.
But it's not just a portion of the fan base who are upset with the Rumble. WWE's own wrestlers are apparently screaming and cursing backstage too. Quickly following the end of the Royal Rumble PLE, PW Insider reported that Drew McIntyre, who was eliminated just after all 30 men had entered the match, had been vocally upset backstage and stormed out of the venue before the show was over. Apparently, he was annoyed with another wrestler who was more concerned with getting themselves over rather than letting the focus be on other people's storylines and spots. But then the Wrestling Observer corroborated PW Insider's story, being told it wasn't just Drew who was upset with the individual who was trying to get themselves over. Other wrestlers in the match were unhappy with it too. PW Insider have now issued a follow-up report identifying the wrestler as L.A. Knight. Yeah, and that McIntyre is believed to be upset by Knight's, quote, errant movement. Errant movement, title of your next indie show.
So at this point, my take on this is that Drew McIntyre is a crybaby bitch. He's drama. He's being drama. You're in a Royal Rumble. There's 10, 12, 13, 30 guys possibly in the ring at any given time. At that point that Drew's bitching about, there was 10 guys in the ring. You can't be that big of a bitch and been in WWE that long and not understand that Royal Rumbles, Battle Royals in general, are cluster fucks. Most wrestlers, fans tend to perceive a Royal Rumble as a really easy match because a lot of it's just going in there and wrestlers are just kind of kicking and punching and stomping and pretending they're trying to get people over the top rope while they're killing time for their next spot or the next chain of events to happen, next entrant, whatever. But wrestlers will tell you that Royal Rumbles, Battle Royals are the most dangerous. Not because they're so physically violent like Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, but because of this kind of shit, because there's just too many people in the ring. Everybody's doing their shit. It's hard to have full peripheral vision. In a 20 by 20 ring, you're cramming 10 full big beefy boys in there, slapping meat, trying to beat the swinging fake fists and stuff. Eventually, somebody's going to catch a stray elbow. Somebody's going to accidentally knock heads. Somebody's going to get ran into, plowed over, stepped on, pinched. All of that shit happens in a Royal Rumble, and that can cause injuries. You step the wrong way, somebody steps on your ankle, you twist it. Bad shit can happen in there because it's so overcrowded. Drew's been around long enough. He should know that. I think Drew has gotten himself to a place where he feels comfortable just bitching all the time about stuff, being a whiny bitch boy. And now we don't know if the whole CM Punk thing was a work to start with or if it was a shoot that became a work or whatever the case may be for that wrestling lingo. But it's still something that acknowledges that Drew McIntyre has been just kind of complaining and bitchy backstage about everything. Oh, this offended me. Oh, this rubbed me the wrong way. Oh, this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy, blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Yes, you're a top star. Yes, you have earned the right to have an opinion and a voice. At the same time, it seems to be happening so much that it's just his character now, that he's a bitchy little girl that complains and plays the victim all the time. Who knows what's real? I wasn't there backstage. You weren't there backstage. Ollie wasn't there backstage, or none of the other people that are reporting on this. But You know, this is a track record for Drew, and even before Punk came back, there were rumors that Drew wasn't going to re-sign with the company, that he was frustrated with how he was being used in his position and his run during COVID. And then once COVID went away, Drew McIntyre's push went away, and it's like he had a lot to be frustrated about, but at the same time, shut the fuck up. You're a bitchy little girl. And that's just my opinion on it, but what is your opinion on it? Love to hear it. Let me know your thoughts on any of these three topics. Drew being a bitchy little girl backstage because somebody stepped on his foot in the Royal Rumble, or Charlotte wins, LOL, because of course she did, or Jey Uso yeeting all over the place, heading to Yeet-a-mania. What are your thoughts? Down in those comments below. Peace, love, pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes, and we'll catch you in the next video. That video there was a real slobber knocker. Head on down to the comments, put a little barbecue sauce on the like button. And while you're there, I would subscribe so you don't miss any other videos. And leave a comment. Everybody's got a fucking comment.